A Bridge podcast, hosted by Nard and executive produced by Pat Alphonse. This could not be possible without the help of S.STREET Media. So subscribe, like, and share. And also, we'd like to give a big shout out to our family and friends and all the people who believed in us, because it's also because of them that we're here today. Indeed. Pat, how you feel, man?
What's going on, Nardi? Everything good?
Yes, everything is well, man.
Back again, man. Episode what? 5, 6?
Episode 6, yeah.
Episode 6, man.
That means we doing good. We forgetting where we at.
We ain't get fired yet.
Yeah, that's what's
Shout
up.
outs to S.STREET Media, know? Shout out to them.
But more importantly, man, let's shout out our guest today, man. A Brooklyn native, who's really doing big things, man. Huge inspiration to everybody watching, listening, and people in his circle and now in mine. We would like to introduce you the
Brownsville's
CEO,
finest.
Brownsville's finest. And he was a jet, another Jocko kid, man. That's what's up. But we want to introduce to you the CEO of BK Lobster, located on Nostrand between Fulton and Herkimer, Mr. Rodney Barnes.
What's up, fellas?
My man.
What's good, family? What's good, family?
Good.
Yeah, definitely. Happy to be here.
Man, we appreciate you, man.
Loving it.
Nah, thank you, man. Thank you, man. It means a lot, man, because, I know you, like, a lot of you guys are watching it in the car because you're going from meeting to meeting to the job, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
so
exactly.
we definitely appreciate it, man. But tell us a little bit about you, man. I want to get right to it. I don't want to shortchange these people at all.
Well, like you said, I grew up in Brownsville Jets, playing under Jocko.
No doubt.
Okay.
Shout out to Jocko, Greg Jackson.
Yeah, he was kind of like my first mentor.
Okay.
Growing up in the projects, mom, single mom.
Okay.
Not having a father, Jocko was kind of like that father figure.
Yeah.
Right. What Jocko taught kind of showed me was like team, being part of a team. So I had Jocko in my life kind of real early, going up.
Man, that's dope. Brooklyn, That's dope too, because like when you learn the team concept young, you understand the responsibility of holding somebody down. Like if your man get beat, it's just like life. If your man get beat, you gotta help out. Right. If you come outside, you gotta know where your little brother, your little sister is. It's really being conscious, man. Right. So it's a great asset to have, man.
And Jocko also taught us if you ain't out there playing defense, you're gonna sit down too.
Oh yeah.
Jocko's hard on
That's
him.
Brooklyn, baby.
Peace out to BRC too.
Yeah. And
BRC.
we was not okay with getting our tail bust. Not in Brooklyn, man. You had to play, and it was hard as hell to play in BRC, boy.
Yeah, 'cause
they had mad grown fans at the 10-year-old game. Word.
They came out there and represented the OGs.
Yes, sir.
Peace out.
Yes, sir.
Peace.
So what what part of Brownsville you from? Like you from
the plaza, from
the plaza. Okay.
From
Wow.
across the street. Yeah.
Wow. That's Noble Drew Ali, right?
Drew, yeah.
One way in, one way out.
Yeah, that's it.
The original Carter. For real. For real. The police call the police, they go there and they be like, everything good? Sure. And then they go about their business.
They don't come out the car.
Yeah.
The window don't even come down.
Nah. No, sir.
That's crazy.
We grew up tough, and so that's what happened. So like, BRC was our outlet to get out of the crazy streets.
Right.
Like,
absolutely.
So we'd go to the BRC. It was right across the street. So you had the pool and you had basketball.
Right.
And basketball was our only outlet. So that's what they was kind of used to kind of pull us out in the streets growing up in the early 80s.
So
Peace to my man.
Right? Yeah. Biggie said you just sling crack rock and you got a wicked jump shot.
Peace to my man Ed Rivera too.
From
Fernandez.
Fernandez. Yeah. We all grew up. We all from the plaza. I mean, like so many guys. Keith Strauss.
Keith Strauss.
Everybody came out there. Bo King. A lot of the older guys out there.
Legends. Shout out to the boy Keith Strauss, my man.
Yeah, peace out.
So
Westinghouse.
When you look back, you realize, okay, that kind of gave you your first understanding, like you said, team, people holding you down.
Right.
Jocko also taught me, like, a respect for authority. He also taught you that, like, he showed me that you could be from Brownsville, you could have confidence.
Right.
We wore being a Brownsville Jet, like, we wore that like a badge of honor.
Yeah, no doubt.
You know what I'm saying? As I grew, one time I did a business deal as I got older, and I remember one time I did the deal, and I was kind of maybe 27, 28. So it was with Ted Gustus, so with Ted. And I did a deal or something in Vegas. It was some digital thing, and I came back and I told Jocko, and Jocko helped me do something with the BRC. So I'm sitting in Jocko's office, and I'm real excited, and I'm like, yo, Jock, I did this, and I'm all the moving parts and do nothing. Jocko he said, yeah. because you a Jet. I'm like, yeah, because I'm a Jet. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So, it brought it back to like,
no doubt.
it's about, he gave you that sense of pride of believing in yourself with a talent. Because like with basketball, that was a selfie of your talent. But he taught us that, okay, that's your talent, but now how to believe in yourself through that talent, whether playing through the ball, playing through losses, if you're having a bad game, not pouting, not getting down on yourself.
So even like with like making a transition, like like learning the game and going through the steps and the phases, at what point did you realize like, what, basketball not gonna be my end all, and you wanted to start venturing out into other avenues?
Well, it kind of happened for me while I was playing basketball. Like what happened, my stepfather came into my life being in the projects. He moved us out as Daddy-O. He had a group called S.STREET.
Okay, S.STREET, right?
Yeah.
Shout out, real rap, music.
Rap. Yeah, so
you had to dance though, the S.STREET shit though.
Yeah.
I can't dance, but they have beats.
You had to jump to do something.
Yeah.
So that kind of got us out the projects, and then what happened is my mom ended up working with working in the music industry.
Okay.
And there too. So what happened was
networking is a beautiful thing, right?
So what happened was, as a kid, I was able to go be an intern. So I was like a kid interning in Rush. So I was around Russell and Leo and Rick Rubin and all these guys as a kid.
Duke singing around with Russ at 13, my dude.
Man Darryl used to drive Russ forever.
D.
Yeah, D.
Yeah, that's my man.
That's
D.
my
I love
guy.
D. Yeah, I love D.
Yeah, me and his brother real tight. Shout out to the boy Ike Dirty, my man.
Yeah, so what happened was, for me, I kind of was around that. So by seeing that stuff, I was kind of around it. Just a kid, just being happy, running around office to office. A lot of young execs coming up in there, the Tracy Waples and the Marjorie Clarks and a lot of these young people. So I kind of seen something. So I had this music industry in the back. But, we just moved out the project. But then we kind of moved to Bed-Stuy a little bit. So, you kind of from Brownsville, you playing ball. So as I was going through high school, I ended up playing like JV. I was playing ball and at the time I'm playing ball, but then, got into like girls and, smoking and everything.
They come.
That happens.
They come.
It's part of the package.
You was playing JV where?
And boys and girls.
Boy, you was a kangaroo? Oh, yeah, you had a few. They was on you.
Yeah. So I was playing JV, and then I failed off the team because I messed up with my grades. I made varsity. Yeah, failed off the team. And then so now I'm in high school. I'm playing a little high school alternative ball, but then I'm still in the music industry. Every time I'm working in the music industry, I'm working and I'm seeing something different in this music industry, and I'm starting to see black executives. I'm around, Puffy
people
and
who
them,
look
they
like
around
you that's
Uptown
winning.
Records,
Right.
And I'm seeing these black execs, and like Def Jam, remember at the time was the only hot record company. It was no Bad Boys. It was no Rockefeller. It was Def Jam by itself. So I'm around all of this as it's happening around Public Enemy, EPMD, like Eric Sherman, like he was like my godfather. Like, I knew all of these guys, but I'm excited. So again, it's in the back of my head. So then as I'm getting older, like you said, I realized ball probably wouldn't be all end all be all, but then I realized I had seen something different besides the project. I seen the music industry.
Right.
And I seen it, and for me, I always say, you know what? I want to be on the other side of the camera. Because I see that's where the money is being made. And that's where the people who getting tickets at it.
Say that again, because everybody think it's just about the artist, man.
Yeah.
Please say that again.
No, I realized that it was more money behind the camera than it was in front of the camera. And I seen who was really making the moves. Like I hear somebody on a phone call in the office telling somebody what EPMD is gonna do. Right. Or telling somebody where LL is gonna go.
Not what they might do, what they're gonna do.
What they're gonna do. And they better go ahead and they doing this. I'm like, yo, these are the real power players. And I'm seeing them, book out Def Comedy Jam and giving me 15, 20 tickets to it. And I'm like, okay, this is where the power's at. This is where the moves is at.
Right.
And so it showed me that, okay, there's something different. And that's when I started learning the business side and wanting to be interested in like the music industry and the business in itself.
Did you ever go into like, once you got like the feel, understand like the concept of
as I do it, because then the industry will teach you a lot of things, because in the hip hop culture you've seen a lot of things develop. You've seen like fashion culture develop through the Sean Johns and this stuff. You've seen the club promotion start. Like, I mean, really, Pat really showed me how a lot of the club game work, and being on that, being on the first side of it. Pat being one of the first original promoters who I seen promote parties and with the NBA and just doing one-offs that was inside New York City. So you kind of be around that stuff and you kind of see it. So for me though, the funny thing with me is I always been in the business of the creative side, but I always seen the business side, because I always noticed there's two things. You got the music business, the fashion business. the food business. So that's the two things. When you break it down, is music and it's business. So you got creative and you got business. You got creative and you got business. So a lot of people stick on the creative side all the time, and that's where all the excitement is and everything like that. But it's the
also
business
where a lot
side.
of conflicts come in too, because everybody got the idea of how it should be.
Right, the creative part. But for me, I always looked at it, the business side first of something, and then work my way back to the creative side. Okay. So like Pat don't know this. We used to be in the tunnel, right? And we'd be in there early if we want to, however we want to. So we do what we do, and everybody be going off and doing what they're doing. So Pat would go, and I go off to the side, and I'll sit there, and I'll sit like right before people walking in the door. And I used to just sit there, and I know how much they used to charge, but they didn't charge us. Right, but I knew how much they charged. So I used to just sit there. Yeah. So I used to just sit there.
The socket, man. The socket.
The socket.
We call it the socket.
That's right. The plug
so
is
I'll
nothing
be
without the
sitting there,
socket.
and I know how much they charge, and I just be sitting there going 20, 40, 60, 80, 100, 20, 40. And I just do that till I get up to like 5,000. I'll be like, whoa. And I used to be like, Dag, how do you be over that side of it?
In a half hour, 45
minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm like, how do you be? And I was always intrigued about that side of it, which led me to see I was intrigued by the business side of it, the entrepreneur side, but the creative in the two mixed up as well. And that's what you get in the music business.
That's a good way to look at it.
So for me, that made me realize, okay, I was an entrepreneur. So then I started doing a lot of different ventures. I got involved in like network marketing and stuff like that, which, for entrepreneur, I would say network marketing is always a good thing. I got involved in a company called 5 Links.
Yeah, I remember that. That was, like 2000s, right? That's when it came out?
2010, 11, yeah.
5
And
rest in peace, my man Diamond, though.
Yeah, my man Dave
Cox.
Diamond Cox. He brought me into it. He was like,
good dude.
He was like an entrepreneur, big brother. I always had big brothers, like, guys
that
like,
was doing the right thing.
Right.
Good influences, no doubt.
Right. So guys like Pat always had, because, I'm 44.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So
another
my
young
friends,
fella.
My friends always been like 3 or 4 or 5 years older than me, because when I was little, I could play ball on a higher level, so my friends was older. So how you can play ball with bigger dudes, those become your friends. You walk home together, you do all of that.
No doubt.
So that's how that was. And then being in the music industry, I'm a young dude in the music industry, but then I got these older friends that doing it. So like I met Dave Diamond in the music industry, and so, but again, having this intrigue for the business side of everything, Dave introduced me to certain business things. I had an invention, I had a makeup store, I think, at the time, and Dave was just like, yo.
Makeup?
Makeup.
You got sisters?
No. My girl I was talking to at the time, she had a makeup store. Because that's how
they be having ideas, right, for your money?
What it is, you know what it is? I always see, like, the business side of anything. Like, I could look at this water, and I could look at how to create a business model, and then take that business model and multiply it, and then franchise it. I always see a business inside of anything creative, so...
Shout out to them dudes at S.STREET Media, too, because they see the business side of everything, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, subscribe, and share. Make sure, man. Because, like, them dudes, like, they see the business side of everything. Like, because I met, like short story, when I met them doing a show for somebody else.
Okay.
And... it was a show, so I came to do the show, but then I found out there are curators, they got other shows, there's a lot going on. I'm like, wow, these dudes is young, look like me, they really doing it, they networking like that. That's dope, man. So shout out to them, man. We thank you for that platform, S.STREET Media.
Yeah, no, definitely. That's so going through that, I always kind of, for me, was in a search of wanting to be an entrepreneur, wanting to be an entrepreneur. The music industry showed me that there's black entrepreneurs. I've been around them. My family was there. My uncle Kedar, he was a music mogul in there. And I seen all of this, but then I seen the music industry started getting a little funny.
Massenberg?
Yeah, Kedar Massenberg. He was president of Motown, Discover, NDIRE,
Joe.
You hear that? The socket. The boy is connected. You heard?
That's fine.
Did you hear that?
Pop.
Those are names, man. Come on, man. So do your homework.
So watching this, like, from the back end, you seeing these executives do deals. They were just doing deals, whether it's production deals or, there's somebody remixing deals or doing this deal, or record label deals. Just always doing deals. And so I was, intrigued by that. So as I started getting older and have to lay your own foundation down, I realized, okay, this is what I want to do. I wanted to be an entrepreneur. First I thought I wanted to be in the music business, but I just, wasn't married to it, but I was just like, I want to be an entrepreneur.
So the 5 Links thing became very intriguing.
Yeah,
once
just
you
because what it
introduced to
does, it became intriguing because it was just showing me other industries. Because in the music industry, I realized where that was going. Because there came a time when Napster came in and all these things came in. The music industry money died, and it was just like
The
I seen where it was
thing
going.
started to pick up.
Yeah, and I was like,
Right.
whoa, we got a
That
shift here.
the vinyl shift, right?
Yeah, it was a shift.
Right.
Yeah, when I seen Tower Records close, I was like, oh,
It's
they
over.
changing. It's
Russell
over.
Russell lived up top. Remember that?
Russell lived up top. They
Top
started
of
Tower
coming.
Records?
Yeah,
Top Records.
yeah, he was checking.
Dude is
Right
like
down
my-
Broadway.
He was living on top of his spots.
Yeah.
Dude
He
is
was
like
serving his
dude is
spot
like
that.
the dude from
Somebody bought
from
his
Green
album
Book.
downstairs.
He like the dude from Green Book. Dude is like living on top of Carnegie Hall.
Yeah,
All
yeah.
right,
Got a crib
yeah,
up top,
Green Book.
and he's getting money downstairs.
Getting money
Wow.
downstairs, right?
He's watching his money for real.
Not just money.
On top of his spot, right?
Yeah.
So it's like when I started seeing that, I was like, okay, I need to learn something more from an entrepreneur's perspective. And so, trying different things, got involved with different things. And prior to that, my cousin, who I didn't see in a long time, I had got with him when I was kind of in between from coming out the music industry, because I managed a few artists. I had artists signed to MCA, trying that whole thing. I met my partner, and he introduced me to a little kid we knew growing up.
Okay.
From on Butler Street, and his name was Anthony Lally. And at the time, he had a real estate company called Rapid Realty.
Okay.
And Rapid Realty had this one brownstone that Anthony brought, and downstairs was like where his office was, but then the 2 floors, he gutted them all out, and he had this row of chairs, and it was nothing but these agents and agents. It's like 100 agents. It was like the stock exchange, and they was just renting, and they were renting apartments. They was renting apartments. They was renting apartments
dope.
at a speed. They was closing 150, 200 deals a month at an average broker fee of $1,500 a pop on apartments.
This before Airbnb.
This is what before that.
Yeah,
This
way
is like
before
2005,
Right.
2005.
And again, these are entrepreneurs who look like us.
Yeah.
And this is what I mean by like with this platform. We want y'all to understand. We want the viewers to understand, like, your nieces, your nephew, your children, man, that they can be what they want to be, man, because there's so many people out here look like us that are doing great things. And we got
opportunities.
we got to stop thinking. I mean, the sports is a great thing. It's a great outlet. It gets you to see, helps you to see the world. You get to meet a bunch of people. Like me as a ball player, I probably got a friend in every state because I played ball all over. Right. But even with these businesses, like, here's a friend of his who has a brownstone on Butler Street. Okay, so
No, this one, he's from Butler, but this is on 4th and 21st, like
4th and
mixed
21st.
units,
Right,
mixed unit
okay.
joints, mixed unit buildings.
now, but he got
He's killing 150 agents. He got 100
150
agents going crazy, getting money. So I was intrigued by him. So I'm like, yo, I was like, I wanted to try something. I was like, I'm interested because, I'm like, I want to see the business model.
Right.
And I was like, I'm going to learn because I always realized as an entrepreneur, you got to be your
Willing to
own
learn.
student. As if you're willing to lead, you got to be willing to learn.
Right.
You got to be willing to. If you're gonna be willing to lead, you got to be willing to follow. If you're
Okay.
gonna, you got to always be willing to put yourself in that position to be able to receive because your life, your school, your college is your experience as an entrepreneur.
Right.
So the quickly you put yourself in school, the
Right.
faster then you now gain the necessary knowledge and experience
you need.
to do it.
Right,
so
right, absolutely.
I was like, all right, cool. I'm in when I seen real estate was the model. So I went to take my real estate license, and then right before I was like get ready to take the class, he's like, yo, I want you to help me start my franchise division. He was about to franchise his company.
Okay.
Because he had it for a few years, and he was like, okay, I'm breeding my own competition. Everybody, trying to take my formula. Either I'm a branch or a franchise. So he chose the franchise.
Okay.
So he
and
took
the difference between the two, because everybody might not know.
branching is when you as a corporation take your own funds and you open up offices and you taking your own money. And it's corporately owned. So one company owns different branches.
Okay.
Franchising is when you use other people's money to open up stores, but they own the stores.
They own them stores.
They own
but they
the
follow
stores.
your
They still
blueprint.
follow your formula. And you just basically do a licensing deal with them, and
Okay.
you pay them a royalty for
It's
the
crazy.
support.
I never thought of like a realtor franchising like a McDonald's or Chili's and something like that.
And so
Wow,
we
that's
did
dope.
that because we had this
OPM.
dope apartment formula and this database with all these landlords, because at the time people was just shaking their head to apartment money. All the realtors wanted house money. So they was like, it's crumbs. Our model's enough crumbs make bread.
Right,
You know
yeah,
what I'm
for
saying?
sure, for
So
sure.
my whole thing is I'd rather rent 15 apartments at $1,500 broker fee a month than try to wait 6 months for a $6,000 broker fee.
Right,
You know
right,
what I'm
right,
saying? I'll
absolutely.
make this quick $15,000
Right,
while you waiting on this house. And if the house don't close in 3 months, you done waited. Now you trying to catch back up. But by the time you do, you done all that money got to go back into all the bills you done accumulated while in between deals, between borrowing.
Right,
So
no
our
doubt.
motto was like, nobody want to focus on apartments. We're going to treat the apartments like a landlord's, like a realtor treats a house.
Okay.
So we had a system, we had an incredible just this whole system of how we dominated the whole internet and everything like that and marketed it. So we franchised that model because we had a niche and we did a franchise. So I was in charge of the franchise development team. I was a franchise salesperson. Okay. So I had the franchise. So what I did, I had to first learn the system. Then we had to package the system. Then I had to do construction to build it out. Okay. Sell it, then build it. So I did it from the ground up and we built it. So we ended up doing like 65 locations within like a 4 to 5 year span from the ground up.
That's dope.
We had them in Harlem, we had them everywhere, and they were successful.
I think I went to the grand opening with you in Queens.
Yeah, we had so many grand openings for them everywhere, and so that taught me franchising. I learned the ins and outs of franchise because we franchised it from the ground up. So we didn't buy into a franchise system. We were the franchisors,
right? Okay.
And we built that system up, and people brought into our system. So we had to create the system and learn it from the ground up. Of course, studying all the McDonald's, studying 7-Eleven, studying, Subway, studying all these different models, in order to
create your format.
Create the format. So we used to do, and we used to have to get real creative with marketing because that's the one thing, being an entrepreneur, I always tell people that when you lack in budget, you make up in creativity.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying?
That's like when you're soliciting like the individuals to come in to look at the apartments and stuff like that.
Well, more so I'm talking about like from when you're running a business. So like a company, we had to market our company. So what we'll do is we have to get creative. We'll say, let's say we go into your building. You got 7 units, 8 units. You got a building. So we're like, okay, let us rent it out for you. So you let us rent it out. Let's say I rented 5 of them apartments. So now I'm like, listen, I rented out 5 of your apartments. Can I put a banner on the side of your building?
Balloons and all that outside.
I'm talking about a tall banner, like a billboard.
Right.
On the whole side of the building, right? The whole, from the 9th floor all the way down. And so they started letting us put up the banners, but we didn't have to pay for them. We was bartering. So you remember there was a time we used to go in New York City, used to see real estate license, $200 in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Those was our signs because we had a real estate school too. So we was basically giving away real estate licenses and breeding the agents coming through the real estate.
Nice.
So the whole
farm
process.
system.
Right. So
farm system,
that's
right.
basically, we had a farm system for agents.
That's dope.
So that whole experience, it showed me, like I said, franchising. While I was doing that, kind of made some investments and, did different things. And, I brought into some different restaurants and stuff like that, Magic Soul Food. And then, even, during this experience, again,
Bad
still.
Style, right?
Yeah, Bad
They
Style.
have one on Atlantic and Rockaway?
Yeah, Atlantic and Rockaway.
And Decatur.
We had Decatur and Malcolm X.
Decatur and Malcolm X.
We had another one on Nostrand. We have one in Queens. We had a few in there. So I brought into that too. So I was always dabbing into that. And then what happened was, being in the music industry, my mom worked her way in there. She was working in the music industry. But then my mom, being a chef,
Oh, your mom's a chef?
Yeah,
That's dope.
Yo,
she ended up cooking.
She get busy?
So here's how it happened. My mom was a chef, and she started cooking for music industry functions. So she'll cook for
For L and all
they
that.
have an Onyx release party. My mom's cooked for. Russell and them get my mother to cook. So my mother to cook.
That's a good check.
So
What?
Yeah.
So what happened was Pat and us, we was the testers of it.
Little
All
greedy,
day.
So
little
Pat-
greedy
Make
cat.
sure it was right before Slick Rick tasted.
When
You know what I
nobody
mean?
gets sick.
Yeah.
When nobody gets sick.
So what happened is, me and Pat, we be doing what we be doing. We be hungry, and she will come in. She be like, "Taste this fish and grits. Taste this.
Tasting the whole
Taste
spot.
this.
Oh,
and so
man.
what happened is too, she'll be doing caterings. Like she'll do, so she'd be in the crib, she'd be down there, and my mom's was real cool. So my mom's always let my friends come to the crib and chill, because my mom's was like, I'd rather know where you at, what you doing.
Right,
and my
right,
mom
right,
was cool.
absolutely.
She was in the music industry too, so I like a cool moms.
Nah, that's dope.
Crib be
That's
20,
crazy cool.
crib be 15 deep.
Yeah, all the boys up
Just
in
chilling,
inside
hanging.
over there, chilling, having fun. My mom's was like, her crew was like
She
Rhonda
mixed
Cowan,
right in
Tracy
with us.
Waples.
Yeah.
Those are my mother friends. Rhonda
Okay.
Cowan, Tracy Waples. So all these the young industry exec girls.
Right.
Those are my mother friends, Nikki D. So that's our whole crew.
Yeah, Nikki
so
D.
now I'm kind of old for my. I'm kind of young. I move older for my age.
Right, older spirit, older soul.
Right. So but so now I got these older friends, and so we all are kind of in the same kind of the mix. So like in parties, my mother be catering the same industry parties we going to.
Right, y'all going
yeah.
to.
So Pat and them was like,
He's with Mad Max and them.
yeah, Pat
These
and them.
guys.
Pat and them, we used to eat the food. So my mother used to cater. She used to start catering, like I said, all the Def Jam Christmas parties. She used to cater for the How Can I Be Down. Peter Thompson started off with all that. So then she kept doing it in the industry, and then Puffy discovered her, and she became an executive chef for Justin's.
Okay, his first joint.
Yeah, the first joint.
Nah, that's
yeah.
dope.
So she became the head
Remember,
chef.
they was
for
rushing
that.
inside of that joint when it first opened.
Yeah.
Y'all finished? Like,
You got people outside. There's a line outside,
There's a line
bro.
outside, yeah.
Word.
And so, my mom, I started, while she was there, I started seeing that. And that showed me another black executive, Puffy,
Did she have
owning
a
a restaurant.
Didn't she have a restaurant on Flap downtown Brooklyn?
This was afterwards where she did
Okay,
it
it's afterwards. Okay, right.
with Puff's mom Dukes. So
Okay.
she
Oh, Mom Dukes. I remember
get
that.
one jumping off too.
Right.
So when I was around Justin, it showed me again. Here it is. I'm around my mother, who's the creative side, but then I'm around Puffy, who's the business side.
Right.
So again, remember seeing Puff growing up, watching him in music, watching him do Finesse Sequence, watching him give my pops Daddy-O, giving him remixes. Like when my pops remix Biggie Real Love, where look up in the sky, it's a bird, it's a plane.
Daddy-O
Like Puff
did that,
and
right?
Daddy-O, hey yo, bring the verse. So I was around when all of those deals happened.
Right.
So me watching Puff, how he moved and elevated exactly now as an entrepreneur. Now he's into restaurants, and now I'm seeing all of this stuff happening like right before my eyes.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Right in front of me. So now then I'm doing what I'm doing. I'm learning real estate. I'm seeing all this stuff. I got this music industry background. I'm learning in real estate. And so now it's just teaching me, again, business on all sides of creative. And when I'm seeing the common denominator from what I'm taking in, it's culture, hip-hop culture, what I'm seeing in the culture, how our culture functions, how I operate, how it moves, how it shifts, different things like that, how sports and entertainment and lifestyle and fashion and food and clothes and music and all of this stuff has an intertwine.
Yep.
It comes together to create this amazing culture that we all kind of experience.
Nah, that's dope.
I'm seeing this and I'm like, okay, and always it's the business model. I'm seeing a business model behind these different things, which is, again, you don't realize the journey that you go through based upon your desires. You just got to have the desire, but it takes you on journeys. And these journeys equip you for what it is that you kind of believe in, your success.
Right.
At the end of the day.
It equips you for what you're going to really dive into 100%.
What you believe in for, what your desire is, what you say I want to be.
Right.
So once you put that GPS, your definite of purpose, which is the first rule of success, your definite of purpose, once you put that coordinates in, then there is a journey. The journey is designed to help prepare you for that.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? And sometimes it's like when the coach say trust the process. It's like this process that you don't even know what's going on, but it's leading you to this journey.
Mm-hmm.
But what I'm realizing, what's the thing is, you got to have the journey. You got to have a destination. You got to know what you want. I didn't realize this formula later.
It's like on spiritual when they say you're going through the fire, like you come out.
Yeah, you being refined through all of that. And what you realize is like, okay, all of this experience is for something and is coming together to formulate something that you have in your own head. It's not something that you're looking for. It's something that you have in your own mind that you want. It's just now crystallizing. And what you do when you start adding self-help and all of this other stuff, you helping yourself crystallize this destination of success for you.
Right.
And what you want to do,
Break it down.
You know what I'm saying? So
no doubt.
down.
That's serious, man.
So now moving fast forward, we sell a company, Rapid Realty. I learned all this franchising stuff. I got this restaurant experience, and that led me to what I was going to do next. You know what I'm saying? That led me to what we was going to do next. And my next move was like, okay, I got all the experience. What's next? Now I'm realizing I'm at a point in my career as an entrepreneur where I learned a lot, had a lot of experience, had these journeys, done met a bunch of people through my relationships with Pat, relationships with, in the music industry and from basketball, and just had all of this.
Coaching up team uptown in Rucker Park.
Oh, yeah.
Throw that in there, too.
Yeah, it's the coach up there.
Hey, coach, yeah.
That's what's up.
Yeah, in West
Real
4th,
quick.
too. Youngsters.
The youngsters.
Yeah, I was
the
coach
youngsters.
over there, too.
Yeah,
the youngsters.
We was a problem over there in West 4.
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
what's
R.I.P. Rad.
Yeah,
Coach
Conrad
Chris
McCray.
Dawkins.
Chris, our boy up there, yeah. And so like
Big Chris, too.
Yeah, Big Chris security.
Yeah, Big Chris.
Like the security bouncers. That's why I know I hang around Pat after a while. I realized, I said that's why Pat getting on the clubs. All the bouncers is ex-ball players. I said,
Yeah, we walk in.
duh.
All the 6'9"
I'm like,
dudes is
duh.
on the
walk in
I'm
there,
like,
man.
Pat just woke up to security. I'm like, he woke up to security. All
What's
right, come on.
Yeah.
Come on.
We good.
Like,
we good.
No
Yo.
doubt.
Then later on, that's when I started seeing Pat, the owners and everything like that. But we used to get straight through the first line of defense. Security.
With no problem.
Let's go.
Easy. Nah, that's what's up.
So then I'm like, okay, what's my next move? I'm an entrepreneur. I'm all tied in. I done got all this. I know all of this. Ain't no going different. Ain't no going back. A lot of times we sometimes go through experiences, and sometimes things have a start and sometimes things an end. And that's the kind of, when they say reason for a season. But, at the end of the day, it's like you got to, once you have that destination, you got to keep going forward. Ain't no getting back.
En route.
En route.
And looking the way you look and everything. Is there is there a lot of friction, like with law enforcement? Like you out late, you opening your spot, you closing your spot. Like do you still like have those like headaches? Are they like, do they come to your spot and?
No, I don't get those things because of the nature, kind of what I do. The way we put the business model, BK Lobster, is fast casual seafood.
Okay.
So when we introduced this concept, the brand BK Lobster, that was kind of like a culmination of what I've been doing all the way before.
It's no fast
casual seafood. No lobster franchise.
There's no lobster franchise, right?
Well, there's lobster franchises. There's
man.
no African American owned lobster franchises. And my whole thing is, when I thought about bringing this, there wasn't. There is now.
There you go.
When I thought about bringing this, my whole idea with BK Lobster was, first of all, there was no place you could get a lobster roll in the hood, in the neighborhood, in the middle of the heart. You still have to go anywhere else.
Need to see that. Yeah.
Now, I'm gonna tell y'all what this is. What it's all about. This is one of our product lines that we're putting out right now. So I'm gonna tell you the whole story, how this whole thing come in. So, and something interesting I learned coming out the music industry, and coming out the music industry and going into products and services and things of that nature. So what happened is we sell a company, we sell Rapid, fast forward, and then I'm like, okay, what's gonna be my next move? So now I take all of this knowledge, all of this understanding that I got, and I'm like, okay, what's next? But what I'm learning is that once you get on the rhythm of the journey, a lot of times you're trying to think what's your next move, but once you get on a pattern of rhythm, your next move kind of attracts to you.
Right.
It comes to you, your next stage. It falls into place. Like, I'm sure you guys didn't plan this, but through movement, opportunity, and things like that,
S.STREET Media, plus them too.
A move falling in line.
Right. Having a connection with them.
It falls in line, but then when you fall in the line, you realize you tie this back to a desire you probably had before. Like, man, I wish I could tell stories. Or I want to be able to tell it, whatever, and you find yourself on the platform. So this is what it was for me with BK Lobster. A situation came where somebody wanted me to help them run a nightclub, whatever. I'm like, I don't feel like running no club. I'm out that. we done been there and done that. I ain't running no club. So he's like, yo, come on, please. It's Christmas. Just come up here, come see it, whatever. I'm like, listen, if I do it, it gotta be something different. Let me see. But it gotta be changed. So he came, I seen it. I'm like, all right, well, if I'm doing this, I can't run it like no club. It needs a concept. It needs a name. So I was driving, coming back from with my daughter. We coming from down south, me, her, my son. And I'm trying to play with different names, and I'm doing with different things. And I'm like, yo, in Brooklyn, there's no place you get a lobster roll, because we used to stop at this lobster roll spot in Maryland. Okay. So I'm like, ain't no place you get a good. I'm like, lobster rolls. I said,
Seafood town.
Yeah. So MGM right there by the water.
Okay.
So I'm like, yo, man, that's like, man, I said I should bring some lobster rolls into Brooklyn. There's no place in where you could get that. My daughter, she's Madison. My middle daughter, she actually played ball too. She played up into high school and everything like that. So she was like, yeah. BK and Lobster sound good. I said, what?
Shout out to Madison.
Ding, ding.
I said, what you say? She said, BK and Lobster sound good. I said, BK Lobster. I said, yo, that's it. And the name came, BK Lobster. So now I had this concept for BK Lobster, which in my mind was going to be these little lobster roll shops that I see when I'm traveling. I'm going to bring them into Brooklyn. And then it all go back again. See how I go back full circle? My boy, God bless his dad, Dave Diamond Cox, I remember one time he used to tell me to meet him in Manhattan. And it was this little spot right in downtown Manhattan somewhere. You go down the steps, and he used to have these lobster rolls. And this was like in 2004, and I never seen nobody eat lobster rolls. And Dave used to always like pop junk. He was flashy. So I'm like, yo, what's this? He's like, you ain't ready for this, youngin'. Yeah. You ain't ready for this. He was like my entrepreneur. You know how like you're a rookie in the entrepreneur game. He's like, you ain't ready for this type of lunch yet.
Okay.
And I remember like, yo, I was intrigued. So now I realized this intrigue came back again. And I'm like, okay, let me bring this concept to Brooklyn. So now I'm like thinking, like a name. So now then I'm saying, okay, BK Lobster, how would that sound? So now I'm doing my market analysis, whatever. So I'm like, lobster is a dope name. It's a celebratory food. And I'm like, because, everybody give me different names. I'm like, BK sound good together.
I love BK.
Because I'm like, all my friends' name is BK. BK Supreme, BK Brew, BK Brewer, BK this one. Everybody on my Instagram is BK this one.
Right.
So I'm like, BK Lobster, because it's flowing. Because I'm taking Instagram and I'm taking what's going on now, and it's flowing in terms of like that. You know what I'm saying? So now, and I'm gonna tie all this in because I'm checking on time because I want to bring some principles on what this, what I noticed and share with some entrepreneurs.
We appreciate the education, brother.
So I'm like BK Lobster. All right, cool. Got a hook. So now I began to put this thing together. And so now I'm going to share with the story, so maybe this will help somebody, because I shared it with an investor.
No doubt.
I shared it with an investor. He asked me, investor, how did I do this? And when I shared it, he's like, yo, that was brilliant. Hindsight 2020, I didn't realize I was doing it, but then I realized I was doing it because, again, this is some knowledge that I picked up before just through a self-help book. And when I learned, sometimes you could put knowledge in yourself that'll come up later.
Right.
In your subconscious, you didn't know it.
You don't throw things away.
Right. So I was like, okay, I need to build a big restaurant, but I need the money to do it. I didn't have all the money to do it. We sold it, but it took a big sum of money. Right. So now I'm like, okay, cool. I already knew how I wanted to structure it. I was going to be a franchise. So I was like, okay, I'm going to do like they do a stock. Whenever you do a stock, what happens is a company does an IPO. It raises money, but it gets money to do the things that it's going to do to make the money that's going to give you back.
Right.
It just did some stuff before to make you attracted to it, to invest into it. So it goes public. So privately, it did something well enough to make you publicly get more money to do some more creative stuff, so to make some more money.
Right.
So I said, well, okay, I got enough network through my years of resources where I can just do it like a stock. So I took my company, which is the franchise holding company, and I said I'm going to sell pieces of it. So I sold pieces of the franchise holding company to build the restaurant. And the restaurant was the showroom now.
Dope.
That's going to now show and sell all other franchises. So I gave pieces of that. But then with the restaurant, that was a separate entity. I also sold pieces of the restaurant in itself as well, too. So I was able to raise capital with both. And so I was able to then get partners to be able to do it. And we built it. So we built the dope showroom, which with the BK Lobster on Notion. We built that one and we launched that one like last year. And now 1 year later, we approaching like our 5th franchise right now.
You got Hoboken.
We have that. We have Myrtle that's launched already.
Myrtle Avenue.
We have Vanderbilt and Clawson. We have New Jersey and Hoboken. We just signed leases for. We have Williamsburg. We signed leases for. And we have Greenpoint that we just did as well too.
Okay.
So we did all that within 1 year, and all of that.
One in Harlem. You mentioned Harlem?
Oh yeah, in Harlem. We got Harlem. Yeah, we got one on Lenox right next to Corner Social, right next to Cove and all that stuff as well too. So, that was the whole idea of the franchise, because I was like, okay, Rapid, I franchised it. So
very smart with Cove, because Cove stayed used to be
strip.
popping when the world was open.
Yeah, that whole strip and everything like that. So
nice.
we right on that block right next to Katina, Babalucci's, then it's us.
Right.
We right in that whole restaurant strip over there
dope.
as well too. So it works. So all of that culmination came together from all of the years of different things and being able to see
your travels.
Doing the travels.
Right.
And one of the things that I learned, that success is not like luck. It's a formula.
Right.
It's a formula to success. It's like the back of a cake box. If I show you a cake box and I say, okay, this is the recipe right here, 1 egg, milk, this, that, and the third, and give it to
follow that.
You have to follow that thing 1, 2, 3, 4 steps.
Right.
In order to get this cake. Right. If you skip a step,
you won't get that cake.
You won't get the cake. And a lot of times when people are not successful, they don't realize why. It's because there's certain steps that they skip in the formula for success.
Trying to get there too fast. Or
sometimes just like you said, not educate and not understand all the steps.
Right. And a lot of times too, like, just the society we live in.
Right.
They want the microwave effect. People want it now.
Right.
Yeah,
like people that know him saying, well, Rod did that. I can do that.
Right.
You know what I mean? People believe that.
Yeah.
And they don't understand, like, Ron went through the networking. Exactly. You know what I mean?
You had that long story,
He also had friends, like we talked about before, like with the Stephon thing. You had people before you who didn't make it.
Right.
But then you were surrounded by so many people who did make it, people who were doing things. And it's like, wow, I can do that.
Bring you in.
You know what I mean? Yeah, I can do that. Well, I could be a part of that. And then you see it. And then, like he says, like, it's the first time I heard it put in that format, though, like when you punch in your destination.
Right.
And now you get to it, you know what I mean? And that's big, you know what I mean? And a lot of people miss that because remember, we're influenced by a lot of people who don't look like us.
Yeah.
And it's not healthy, for real. It's not healthy because what happens is, people say they get a couple dollars, they want a house with the picket fence, you know what I mean? Like, on my job, I know a lot of people that moved out to the island.
Right.
You ain't stupid high. Can't afford it no more. Dude's trying to come back. They're trying to sell. They ain't getting the same bang for the buck.
Taxes is retarded.
Oh my God, taxes retarded.
Tax more than the crib.
Yeah, for real. So like he said, when you have like the blueprint and the format, you have to like stick to it.
Yeah, you gotta
stick
follow
to it. And then like shout out to BK Rule, shout out to BK Roy. Like them dudes is doing things. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, Rugs and everybody doing
Rugs
stuff.
and them. I went to SL that first week it opened.
Yeah.
So
I was like, yo, this is crazy. Like, yo, this is dope. Like, and you saying this is dope from the hood. I know it's pops. You know what I mean?
You see the guys come up, and that's what I like, because like when I was thinking about the format that like y'all show, and I was just like, y'all was like, there's certain stories out there that people who was really there around who seen certain things, and you watch people come up. Like you see a guy like Rug Success, they think that's instant, they think that's not, but dude been putting in work for years.
Yeah.
Dude been standing on line in clubs and everything before to get in clubs, just to go, just to show love, supporting other people's stuff, going to other people's parties, going to support other people's stuff, consistently going to do that. And so like when you see, they say it takes 10 years to be an overnight success. A lot of people think like this what's happening with what's going on, what I'm doing, this is overnight, but no, this is years and years of grinding. This is years and years of.
It's the same thing with the.
He's seen me try this and this don't work and this don't work, but what I learned.
The clothing line. What's the clothing line?
Oh yeah, it was called RTB, Rap Throwbacks. I had a
Rap Throwbacks
clothing line. That's what I said. I discovered fashion. I tried that, where I had these throwback jerseys where all the old school hip hop artists. And it was like when the throwback thing was like, so I had like Dougie Fresh, and it's like the show. It had the year the show came out, and him doing it, and I had all them endorsements.
Shout out to 2 Apparel, True, for the shirt. True means loyalty in German. You know what I'm saying? Loyalty over profit. Don't forget that. And don't forget to go to S.STREET Media, subscribe, like, and share. You know what I mean? Tell a friend to tell a friend, man. Yeah. And make sure you tell them. I need everybody to tell somebody, man. If you got a kid that want to do something, a niece, a cousin, a girlfriend, an ex, anybody.
Do it.
I need them to listen to this episode and understand how the brother said that, you had to take the steps and follow the ingredients and therefore to get what you want.
Stick to the script.
That's right. Ain't no plan B, man. We just reinventing plan A.
That's it. All you got to do is constantly refine, constantly be refining. Other stuff, so like, just to share some of the other things that we're doing, because, one of the things, like I said, I always look at the business model. So when I look at it, I'm always thinking to tell everybody, think of yourself as a brand. You always got to think of yourself as a brand. And at some point, you want to be licensed, meaning somebody do something else but want to pay you for your name. So like the name Sean John is so big that a glasses company come and say, hey, I want to license that name. Puffy don't do none of the glasses, but the glasses work through the company, pay him a royalty on it. Right. So when for us as BK Lobster, we're building out the franchise, we're building out the brands, but then we have other parts of it too. So what I did, like for my mom's, I took, because what happened, my mother macaroni and cheese recipe was famous in Justice. Everybody loved her mac and cheese.
Mac and cheese was sick.
I took that recipe and I added the lobster, so that's the lobster mac in my restaurant. Denise. But now what we're doing,
y'all putting pressure on Patty right now.
Yeah. So no, what we're doing is seriously, what we're doing is we're putting it and we're doing frozen food. Now we're gonna put it in the frozen food. Wow. So we're getting ready to get that ready, big. And that's gonna be my mom's is on it. So it's gonna be like her, and that's gonna be my way of kind of giving back to her for what she showed me. So that's gonna be one. So that's gonna be BK Lobster Mac. So we're gonna have that. And then we also playing with like our seasonings. So like these is what this is. So like some of our seasonings and product. Because one of the things I learned.
One is a spice.
Yeah, one is a 6-spice.
A 6-spice infusion.
That's what we use for like our shrimp. And this one we use for our lobster. So when you come in, you like what you like. Now we got the seasoning already blended up, the secret seasoning to blend.
So now it's gonna be janking in the hood.
Yeah. We're gonna put that up on there.
The car game gonna be smack. It's gonna have a BK Lobster taste.
So we got that. Because one of the things that I learned, and I seen them say it, is like, people always ask me, well, Rodney, why you ain't in the music industry? Would you be in the music industry? Why are you doing this? And I seen something one time, and it was like, well, products don't talk back to you. They don't cop attitudes.
None of that.
They don't show up late.
Yeah, about to say late.
They don't do
2
none
hours
of that
later.
Stuff. They don't give you. They don't give you.
They ain't beefing about wardrobe.
They like, I ain't creative today.
Wardrobe problem.
They listen. These lobster rolls listen. You know what I'm saying? So I tell people, like, I heard Master P and them say that, get product. You know what I'm saying? And understand product business. Understand like what we're doing. We want to do stuff with the supermarkets. We want to do stuff with the frozen Mac. Go beyond your brand, because see, like I said, with everything culminating, like I said, one thing I realized is that how marketable hip hop culture is. So the culture is the big thing. Culture is what we live in and what we've created, and the music just really took the culture and spread it. But there's so many other ways in the culture that you can make it besides sports, besides rapping, besides those things. The culture, there's so many different areas. So I was in the clothing business. I made money. I made money in real estate. I make money in food, and all of this. And so even when I run my company, I run it like a record company. So like for instance, this was produced by a chef. Her name is Chef Ra. And what I did was, it's like
Chef
BK.
Ra from Harlem.
Yeah, okay. Chef Ra from Harlem. And it says BK Lobster produced by Chef Ra.
Okay, so everybody gets they do.
They know who she did it. So like my mom's is the macaron produced by Chef Nene. Okay. So it's the same way Puffer take a record label, then you'll have artists. So because Cook's an artist. But then you could produce somebody else's product. So this is my way now of then taking her and branding my mom's as well too, as opposed to me just trying to take their talent and take responsibility for it. Let's cross brand ourselves together.
Exactly.
And you know what I'm saying?
Be a GM.
You know,
be a GM.
exactly.
No
GM
doubt.
in the whole thing, and then take different talent, different networks, and that's what I do. I pull all these networks
you
together
infuse them.
to create
Right.
the whole winning team. You know,
that's dope.
but all of that goes back to basketball.
Right.
Understanding that, and this is what I tell people all the time.
You gotta know everybody. Everybody gotta know their position too.
Exactly.
Right.
And watch this. This is what people don't do, the knowledge in. Whenever you, first of all, you got to figure out. I'm looking at my time. First of all, you got to figure out what sport you playing.
Right.
You know, so you got to figure out if you baseball player, basketball player, football, right? Because there's different types of entrepreneurs. So you have like the mission entrepreneur who they get in entrepreneurship to heal homelessness, heal the sickness.
Right,
That's a
right.
mission. Then you have the talented entrepreneur. Those are singers, makeup artists. They have a talent that they
Right.
do. They start makeup classes, makeup schools. Then you have the opportunistic entrepreneur. That's a person like me who sees something missing. There's no lobster rolls. Oh, I'm gonna put a lobster roll right there.
Right.
You know what I'm
Gotcha,
saying?
no doubt,
Then you
no
have
doubt.
the undecided entrepreneur. They just know they don't want to work for nobody, but they don't know what they want to do.
Right, right.
So you got to first know what category you fit in, because you got to be comfortable in what you naturally
Right,
do.
right.
If you are opportunistic,
Knowing your position.
one, don't be in a non-for-profit entrepreneur, because you're gonna be thinking about the money.
Right,
You
right,
understand
right.
what I'm saying? So once you understand that, and there's books that talks about that. There's a book by Ryan Levesque talk about choose. It teaches you how to choose what type of entrepreneur you is. Now, when you know what type of entrepreneur is, I equate that to what sport you playing. Because now, when you play the sport, you got to know what type of team you need to build around you, because that's the
Right.
second rule of success. With two
You don't
or
wanna
more,
bump heads, right.
Yeah, if two or more work together in the spirit of harmony for a common goal. So
you go.
that's the second rule of success, the mastermind alliance. So, but what I've learned, when you putting your team together, you got to know, first of all, when you know the sport, you know what type of team you need. So if you basketball, you know you need 5 players. If football,
Right.
you need 52. If it's this. So once you know the sport, now you got to know what you are and then what to put around you.
Right,
If
right,
I'm a
right.
point guard, I'm going to get a 2, a 3, and a 4. If I'm a center, I'm going to get this, that, and the
Yeah,
third.
right,
A
absolutely.
lot of times you get a bunch of point guards, and he's going to get a bunch of other point guards. You know what I'm saying?
Whole bunch of
Everybody
little
do the
fellas.
same
A
thing.
bunch of little fellas.
bunch of little fellas.
Everybody doing the same thing. Why? Because everybody agree.
Struggling to rebound.
Everybody
Right.
agree, and so
Right,
that's
right,
why
right.
it's hard for the business and the stuff to move forward. So one of the things, going back to basketball, I learned that if I need a team, I got to know what I do well. So if I'm like a 2, then I know I'm gonna need me a 1.
Somebody distribute so you can get that.
So
in
I
the
can
right
get to my spot.
Let that thing
You know
go.
what I'm saying?
Right,
So
right,
like,
nah.
so if I'm the CEO, but I get me the right COO, like my man Ed, who's also my franchisee over in Myrtle, because I know he'll do things so I could go over here and get to my spot.
Right,
Even
right,
though,
right.
you know,
Without saying a word to him.
right, you
Right,
know what
right,
it is.
right.
Now,
He already know.
you know, but now the captain of the team is, you never know who that is. It might be a forward. It might
Yeah.
be this one.
Maybe
It might
someone
be
on a bench.
It might be
You know.
somebody that's the captain of the team. You know what I'm
Because
saying?
also too, your teammates can see things you can't see because you
And
work in here.
That's
so they
what,
come.
that's
and they
what
like,
it
yo,
is.
listen.
See what I don't see.
Right,
and that's
right,
what you
right.
want. You don't want nobody to see what you see.
They
Because-
always say like if you the smartest person in the room, you're in the room.
Get another group, right? Because the power is in what you don't know, not
Right.
what you know.
Right.
Because your undiscovered knowledge is where you don't know
And that's
what
great.
it
That's
is.
like that was like a studying method, like in school. Like I'm studying what I don't know.
That's
I'm not
what it
spending
is.
my time on the whole subject when I know
It's like
majority
spinning the
of
whole
stuff.
practice on your right hand when your left is weak.
Yeah. Right.
Your power is in what you don't know. You,
Right.
you don't know how to use that.
Right.
So that's where the power is in your game. Once you get that,
Once you get that
now
right,
your
you
game is
good.
just stepped up. And that's the same thing with people.
Definitely.
Once you get that. So my whole thing is surround myself with people who know things that I don't know, who play positions I don't play.
Yeah.
And then with that, you got to then let them trust them roles. You got to let the center be the center. You got to let the postman, if we call the play, you got to run the play.
Right,
Gotta run the
right,
play.
You know what I'm saying? Don't isolation all the damn time. You know what I'm saying?
No, that's dope though. It's very, very informative. Which I stated in one of my posts. I'm like, yo, dude, gonna bring it to you. You gonna share some stuff with you that you need to know. Because right now, with this climate and with this world, people looking like a Fortune 500 country from their phone. People doing a lot of stuff.
On their phone.
Yeah, from their phone. People, seriously, you see a dude, he got a bunch of bags in front of him.
Yeah.
Everybody has a line. Everybody's doing whatever. I'm not knocking nobody.
Right,
Again,
right,
I
right.
always say on this
Yeah.
show, I support everybody that's hustling. I'm rooting for everybody that's hustling.
What's that thing you were saying about Atlanta?
Atlanta's like low hanging fruit. Everybody go down Atlanta. Now seriously,
Yeah.
shout out to my boy Cody, man. He had the L store down on Lucky Street, Soul,
Okay.
NTL. Like joint was popping.
Sneaker store.
Yeah.
Okay.
So like rugs in them.
Cody,
Yeah.
that's my brother.
Yeah.
Sweet
Yeah.
Lounge.
God,
Mr.
Sweet
Big
Our
Lounge,
boy,
my boy
Big
Al.
Al.
Yeah, Big
Yeah,
Al.
a
Yeah,
lot
yeah,
of dudes, man, and And it's huge, man.
We get ready to come down there. Actually, I just got a call today. I just got a text with dude say he's gonna take the spot that we was gonna do in Atlanta.
Nice.
So we coming down to ATL.
Nah, that's dope, man. Because and then it has to feel good. And I'm saying it, and I haven't sat at the table with him.
Right.
But I'm saying it has to feel good when you roaring all y'all. Everybody's boarding the plane. Y'all at Rugs Weekend. Y'all sitting here. We looking like, dude, where we at? Like, we doing this. Like, them sections of Rugs Weekend be crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard about it.
Yeah.
It'd be crazy. I remember, the funniest thing I seen in the magazine, Puff had a sign that said, Rugs, send our girls back.
Wow.
That's funny.
Yo,
Yeah,
dude.
that's funny.
Dude.
Yeah, that's funny.
I died. I was like, this is crazy.
I mean, I love what they doing. It's like when you open the mantle, you see what them guys is taking the game.
Yeah.
It's like, but for Pat them, that's almost like how when like the old NBA players see the new guys making the monies and doing the stuff and doing the Duce deals and doing all those different things. Because this is what they laid the game down for. They set it off. All original Peter shoes and y'all had, all the
Peter shoe
original
parties used to be crazy.
original
Miguel's.
the Miguel's and all that, the parties and everything like that, setting up and opening up a clear lane. And like real talk, like Pat really showed me how to network. Like he showed me, like he showed me how to network. I studied like this was my bro, But I'm gonna tell you the thing is too. The reason why I claim to Pat too, because like I realized like this dude could get in clubs too. But then I used to have all of these laminates to everything, right? I ain't had no car. And we used to have to go out late. I'm like, yo, son, I got 4 tickets. Pat to bring,
let's go.
Pat to bring his people. Pat to bring people from Syracuse. He'd bring people. Then those guys buying bottles. Like that's when I'm seeing cases of bottles buying out the buying Moët.
My man Kev Bullock.
Yeah, he used
Syracuse.
to come out buy 12 bottles of Moët.
This dude to come to New York for 3 days
you'd
and
be
buy
like this,
50
just bottles and just walking around.
It got too bad. We be driving on like a regular Washington Ave. He's like, stop at the
liquor store.
We go to the liquor store and get 2 bottles.
Just buy a case.
Yo,
these dudes literally, I used to go, like my school, they picked me up from school one time. Pat picked me up from school. We go to the city. We go in a hotel room on 42nd Street. These guys got, Kev got the bucket. You know the buckets where you get ice?
Yeah.
2 bottles up in the bucket. He giving out straws. And we pre-gaming. It got a name now. Pre-gaming before we hit the club later going
Yo,
on.
we got a question for you. Cause we ask all our guests this, like, and what you doing, like what does like bridging the gap mean to you, like for the guys coming behind you?
Bridging the gap really mean passing on the knowledge, which is formula.
Right.
Give it a formula for success. Learning your ups, learning your downs, learning the things you made, and then trying to formulate those things so that you can be able to now pass it in a formula, not in a story, because people need formulas, people need directions and blueprints, and there's no, from like architect, there's no building this house without submitting the blueprints to the building department. So as many platforms we could get to reinforce this formula and then house on that formula the principles and showcase, like you said, show that and show those things. Bridging the gap is like showing the real formula for success and not just the results of success.
Cool. That's dope.
Yo, very well said.
Appreciate you for coming through, man. Appreciate you. That's my friend. That's my man for over
That's
20
my brother.
years,
Yeah,
25, 30
my
years.
bro, Mom Duke's making the black rice.
All that.
Man, black rice.
Yeah.
What?
Rodney used to come to the
and
crib.
you knew me and you ain't called me then.
What?
Yeah, that's
that
what's
black
up,
rice
though.
with turkey wings fried.
Oh
Yeah, we
man, that's what it is.
Yeah.
But again, man, I want to thank you. This is A Bridge, the podcast,
A
hosted
Bridge.
by Nard, special guest Rodney Barnes, executive produced by Pat Alphonse.
Co-host, I'm back again,
There
guys.
you
School's
go.
open.
In and out. But again, shout out to S.STREET Media. Like, subscribe, share, tell a friend, man. And we hope this episode was very informative, and you guys join us next week, man.
And they can find us at BK Lobster.
BKLobster.com.
Okay.
And if you're interested in franchising, y'all can just hit us up in the DM. We'll walk you through it. We'll show you how to get it done for the good price. We take care of our people, and we show you the business. We teach you the model. We don't just do it. We teach you so that you could become developed as the entrepreneur in itself and support you. And we hold your hand. And I'm real. Like, I'm the CEO, but you could touch me. We vibe. We regular. You know what I'm saying? Who we got. You know what I mean?
That's what's up.
So,
what's up.
but guys, I thank y'all for this. This is dope. I love this. Anything y'all
appreciate it.
need from me, I'm here. My
Lobster roll.
support.
We need the biggie joint.
Need the biggie
The
joint.
biggie joint.
All right, so we'll make it there. I'll start putting up. We'll set up lobster rolls up
Yeah,
there.
nah,
We'll start
nah,
setting
nah.
up-
We could, you
just
know,
set up a few rolls.
we could
at the
promote and
table.
all
Yeah,
that,
we
yeah.
could-
Yeah, like
we
ain't
could do
Sponsored
that.
by Lobster, BK
Yeah.
Lobsters.
Yeah, we could do that.
Yeah, sponsored by
Yeah,
BK
we'll put a
Lobsters.
sponsor-
sponsor
about
package
the-
together
the
to
networking
keep
is
it
crazy.
going.
Right,
I know
sure.
the bills got to be paid.
No doubt.
Nah, we appreciate you for
Yeah,
coming
I told
through.
you I see the business model and everything.
Yeah,
Appreciate
that's
you.
what's up. Nah.
Thanks a lot, brother.
Nah, we definitely
A
wanna do
Bridge
something.
Podcast. Thank you, guys.
Hey, Bridge
One love.
Podcast. Peace. Yep.